Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On 49ers Squad Show. I am your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR, or maybe from some of these other Locked On shows that we do. And my God, has there been a more emotional 49ers playoff win in recent memory? This was amazing. If you're a 49ers fan, you're a member of the faithful right now, you probably feel as ecstatic as I do that the 49ers finally exercised their demons out there in Philly. And man, what a scene it was for the 49ers.
Hey everyone, this is Dwayne Boyd, four-time Super Bowl champion with the 49ers. And the thing that's most noticeable about the 49ers is hard to win in the playoffs without a run game or a pass rush, but somehow, some way, they find how to get it done.
And one of the ways you get that done is you just outcoach the other guys. The 49ers outcoached the Eagles so much so, in fact, that I would be shocked if their offensive coordinator is not fired tomorrow because of what Robert Saleh was able to do, as undermanned as he was. And what about Sirianni, too? Just make Vic the head coach if you're in Philly.
Cry, Eagles, cry all through the offseason. The 49ers Squad Show starts right now.
To all the faithful, it's the 49ers Squad. Everything San Francisco 49ers every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from Levi's Stadium. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. For those faithful to the Bay, the 49ers Squad Show starts now.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us on another edition of the Locked On 49ers Squad Show. Shout out to all our everydayers tuning in on either the Locked On 49ers YouTube channel or however you're getting your podcast. Make sure you are subscribed to the Locked On 49ers channel, however you're getting the show. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. And this one, man, what a win. This was my favorite playoff win for the 49ers, probably in the last, I don't know, like 5 seasons. This was so good. It just felt, just clean, like cleansing your soul of all that bad stuff of the last time that they were in Philly in the postseason. And obviously, what happened with the Brock Purdy injury and all the injuries to everybody else who tried to play quarterback that day. And the 49ers, man, we dealt with so much woofing from the Philadelphia Eagles fan base and how it wouldn't matter if Brock was still healthy and yada, yada, yada. Well, eat your humble pie. That's all I got to say to all those wonderful people out there in Philadelphia. And it couldn't happen to a nicer bunch of people, right, Crocky? Or Peacock. We got Peacock today, man. I keep mixing it up. I'm sorry, Brian.
You're gonna have Croc later. We're gonna do a first half, second half thing. Hopefully, I don't blow it at the end of the first half like Kyle Shanahan did in this game, and Croc has to come save me in the second half.
Yeah, dude, that clock management by Shanahan at the end of the first half was giving me some heart palpitations. It was kind of a similar situation to what we saw against Seattle, man, and just a lack of urgency. I mean, you're sitting there with like 30 seconds on the clock, and you're just letting the time tick all the way down, and until you only got a chance for one more play before the end of the half. What the hell was that? We can get into that a little bit later on. I don't want to start off the show with nitpicking a little too much because this was an amazing win. I mean, I do not know how the 49ers were able to pull this out. You look across how this game went, and you see that the Philadelphia Eagles were running the ball better than the Niners. They were throwing the ball pretty damn good too when they had to, at least in gotta-have-it situations. The Eagles they were converting their fourth and shorts that you would expect them to. Their defense was not giving the 49ers a whole lot of room to operate, getting Brock Purdy to turn the football over, and it doesn't matter. They, like you said, Peacock, this might be the best job that Shanahan has done in a single game. I mean, aside from that end of the first half, right?
He always does that at the end of the first half, and so it's that's just him. But otherwise, they were awesome. The play call on the reverse pass, right? Play the game, play of the year,
play of the year. I don't know. I mean, across the entire NFL, I'm willing to say play of the year. Now, I have not watched every single play of every single NFL game this year, but I'm going to go ahead and say it right now, man. Play of the year.
Well, if you go back and look at it at the beginning of the game, Shanahan was moving the ball. He was great play calling and all of that. And then after that, he put it on mute, okay? And it went mute until the third quarter when he ran the old flea flicker reverse pass and pulled. And you said Jennings, what was his quarterback rating when he was in high school and what he did?
We went through it a little bit off the air afterwards. If you guys didn't tune into the Rapid React show with me and Croc. So Jauan Jennings was a higher ranked high school quarterback going into college than Sam Darnold and Lamar Jackson and many others. And I think he was number 5 in the country.
He was the 8th best player as a quarterback in his state as a high school player. He was ranked 142 out of all players as a quarterback. I mean, his senior year, dude almost ran for 1,000 yards. He had 877 rushing yards, 17 rushing touchdowns. And he paired that with a cool, 2,100 passing yards and 22 more through the air, 22 more touchdowns. Dude only had 3 interceptions. This guy, he's a dual threat mobile quarterback that they got playing wide receiver. And you saw that today, man, because Jauan Jennings, when he threw that ball, like he is rolling out to his right and he was moving. It wasn't like he wasn't sauntering out on over there. He is running, like not full speed, but he was like running out to his right and didn't break stride and took an absolute lick from Jalen Carter, who is a massive human being who the Eagles should never have been able to draft in the position that they drafted him. That will still, frustrate me until the end of time that he's on that team. But man, what a throw by Jauan Jennings. He put it right over Christian McCaffrey's shoulder in the breadbasket. And Shanahan even said post-game, he was like, I kind of wanted him to just lay it up and throw just an okay ball so that McCaffrey could come back to it and just get the guy. But no, Shanahan said he got worried when he saw where the ball placement was because it was a perfect pass and Christian McCaffrey had to continue to run the route and he did. And what a play by CMC as well, the over-the-shoulder catch, the slight adjustment he made at the end. And all this goes to all of this in the context of neither quarterback could really throw the ball effectively today because there's so much damn wind in Philly. Jauan Jennings had the best pass of anybody today, regardless of position. Dwayne, have you seen a play like that before in such a big moment in a playoff game? I mean, that was huge. I mean, if they don't get that there, that might be the game.
You're right. That was the game if he didn't get it there. That was the turning point of the game. Back in the day, I can't remember who it was, but it was, I forget who the wide receiver was, but he would always take his glove off when they was going to throw a pass, when he was going to throw a pass. And I'm just wondering if Jennings took his glove off or did he throw that pass with his glove on?
Still had the glove on.
He had the glove on? Well, hey, that was a heck of a pass throwing it with his glove on. Maybe.
Yeah, it was so smooth. The way he rolled out, like it was just natural. And put it on the money. And he actually even hesitated a second. Like for a second, it was like, oh no, is he gonna have to run because it's not there? Because you're watching the broadcast angle, you don't see what's happening in the back half yet. And he was doing the thing like you do in the backyard with your friends. You're like, no, keep going. Okay, now I'm gonna let it go. That's all he was doing. But you're not far enough yet.
Man, and Shanahan summed it up, I thought, so well on his post game. He just said, plain and simply, shows what a G Jauan is. And 100%, yeah, dude. Like, Jauan Jennings has had a lot of I want to say, extracurricular media attention this year. None of that matters anymore. It does not matter. This one play supersedes all of that. And job's not finished. I want to put that out there. Like, this is one win on the way, and they still got another huge, monumental task next week, as they will have to go to Seattle on the road and win there. And that alone is a whole nother, thing we can get into. But for this play, for this game, this is I think this just injects so much life into the 49er faithful, into the 49ers themselves. And for all this to come to fruition, despite George Kittle tearing his Achilles, how many Pro Bowlers can the 49ers lose in a season and still go out there on the road in the playoffs and go deliver teams losses? This was the defending champion Eagles. I know that they've had problems with moving the ball offensively in certain games this year and all that nonsense, but they were undefeated at home in the Nick Sirianni era. By the way, Nick Sirianni AJ Brown yelling at each other. It just made me smile. That made my heart so happy watching those two get into it. Again, couldn't happen to nicer people. Nick Sirianni, if we're going, mount punchable face more, Nick Sirianni is the first name I'm putting on that mountain. We just to round it out, we can go Jose Canseco in there too, because I just don't like that guy.
You're not even talking about coaches. You're just talking about
anybody associated with sports in history. Nick Sirianni, number one. We can go Jose Canseco in there just because that guy lies a lot and I don't like his face. For another one, we could go Ime Udoka, the Rockets head coach, for all sorts of reasons. That guy, oh my God. And just to round it out, Mahomes, I don't know. Mahomes got a punchable face, but not too bad. But I'm going to have to think about that last one for a minute. But Nick Sirianni, for sure, top of mount punchable face more for me. I mean, I just hate that guy. I hate that. I hate what he sounds like. I hate the way he looks. I hate the way he walks. I hate the way he stands there looking just dumb on the sideline with his clipboard and his stupid little headset. Like I cannot stand this guy. Anything he does, absolutely despise Nick Sirianni. So
riding Howie Roseman's coattails.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this guy, he's not even calling creative plays. He's just saying, hey, go push that guy who has the football forward. I mean, how brain dead do you have to be? He's literally just calling battering ram plays over and over and over again. Could not happen to nicer people. So long, farewell. Maybe they can find some nice solace and comfort in some nice Bruce Springsteen stylings, go listen to the Streets of Philadelphia, all that kind of stuff. Hope you guys have a great time. Just watching that Juwan Jennings play on repeat all off season long. That's the best way for Eagles fans to spend their season. And did you hear the boos? Did you hear just the amount of boos that came down from that fan base? Oh man, it just made my heart so happy watching this. And again, to bring it back full circle, for them to accomplish this without any of their star players. I mean, they still have Brock, they still have CMC, no George Kittle, no Nick Bosa, no Fred Warner. I mean, then barely you have Trent Williams hobbling around there on one leg, basically. How did they get this done, Brian?
Well, I just think that Christian McCaffrey after the game talked about how resilient they are and how they're just not a team that's going to give up. So it doesn't matter. It's pretty amazing that they have the ability to lose 4 or 5 Pro Bowlers and still have more that are playing. So that's a good thing is that they were a good enough team to withstand some of this. I'm just fascinated by how well the 49ers coached and how they got their team together to win. You look at the 49ers linebackers, you would have thought, well, this is going to be the end, Saquon Barkley, and they started running the ball pretty well at the beginning of the game. Deommodore Lenoir didn't have contain on that first big run around the outside. We saw the same thing with Charbonnet, long touchdown run last week. And it's like, oh, that's really going to do it in for the 49ers. And you have new linebackers. And look, it was a good run, but you're not going to be able to stop their running game and the Eagles in this one. But no, we're sitting here post-game, and I had zero problem with the way Eric Kendrick and a guy named Garrett Wallow played for the 49ers. I mean, it's pretty amazing. You had Siegel had to jump in. I thought he played better than Jair Brown had been playing at safety. You had CJ West, who keeps getting better and better in the middle, did a really good job clogging the run after some early success for Saquon Barkley. Upton Stout might be the best rookie overall for the 49ers this year, the way he's developing that.
He might be the best player in the secondary.
That 4-1 pass breakup was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And so really kudos to the coaching staff for getting these guys ready to play. And there's no quit in this 49ers team. And that's one thing that's really hard to measure. You can't measure that on paper. And the 49ers keep proving it this year.
And you touched on everything there. I mean, from the linebacker play, which we were joking on Wednesday about how the 49ers got 2 Pro Bowlers at linebacker. They'll be fine. And they played like Pro Bowlers. You know where the 2 leading tacklers were for the 49ers today? Eric Kendricks and Garrett Wallow. You know who the third one was? Marquise Siegel. The other guy who we were sitting here on Wednesday going, why the hell didn't this guy get more run during the regular season? Now you might be in a position where you need to throw him out there in the playoffs. And he hasn't played a game since like October, really, or like hasn't played too many meaningful snaps. And this guy goes out there and I mean, one-on-one. The one that stands out to me was when Devontae Smith caught the ball on the flat on the near side, and he was one-on-one with Siegel, and he tried to put a move on him. And Devontae Smith, I know he's not like the biggest, strongest receiver out there, but he's shifty. He's hard to get on the ground. Former Heisman winner, one-on-one with a rookie, and the rookie takes him down. Like that was absolute money. by Siegel. And this guy, as you said, came in for the injured Jair Brown, who got injured early on, did not come back. And Shanahan did not sound too positive about Jair Brown's status with that injury in the post-game presser. And so Siegel could get some run later on in this postseason. And what a game by that guy. And for the safety play has been so bad. It's been something we've talked about a lot on this show. And that play that you were talking about, Brian, where they ran the cutback to Diamador Lenore's side, Malik Mustafa also completely out of position on that play, crossed over to the opposite side of the field, got walled off and couldn't get back on the cutback before, Saquon Barkley was already scampering 50 yards down the field. So this, like you said, looked like it was going to be more of the same. And I feel like the turning point in that run game was when Marcus Siegel came into this game. Like, it really changed things having that guy back there. He was such a sure tackler for the 49ers today. And Dwayne, I don't know how they fixed it. And we talked about this. I asked you the same question on Wednesday. How the hell can they fix can a team that doesn't tackle well fix the tackling problem? You said, kind of can't do that at this point. They fixed it today. How the hell did they do that?
Well, one thing is that when they brought Siegel in, he was the one that fixed the tackling problem because, he came in blowing guys up. And the thing that you like about him, the game is not too big for him. You're at the point where you're in the playoffs in Philadelphia, no matter where you went to school at, you're playing on the road in a hostile environment. And he showed up today. And you got to look at down the road, too. They brought in an old linebacker, 11 years in the league. And the nice thing about it was you could see how smooth the defense was being ran because he was making the calls and getting people lined up. And that's the key. When you get everyone in the right spot and you got a chance. But if you got somebody who's out there fumbling around, don't know what to call and all of that, and don't know the checks, you're in trouble. But I think he came in and filled in a great role for Fred. I do. And you can't go wrong.
Eric Kendricks today was, Shanahan talked about it a little bit post-game. He said, he told the guys on Monday, he said, I don't know Eric that well. I have not spent a lot of time with him, but I've spent a lot of time against him, and I know he's going to be ready. And that was the message that Shanahan said he delivered to his locker room on Monday. And he didn't tell any lies. Kyle Shanahan might be telling a lot of lies on the injury report, but he does not tell lies to his team behind closed doors, man.
And Jalen Hurts, this passing game that the Philadelphia Eagles have isn't the type that's super efficient and going to be detailed and carve you up. So I think that works in the favor of linebackers and someone like Eric Kendricks, who still can, go forward and go make tackles and be smart. And they didn't take advantage of them in the passing game at all. And back to the Siegel thing. What I love about Siegel as a young player is he didn't go into a shell after the BS roughing the passer call, because 2 plays later, he popped Jalen Hurts again. He said, I'm still flying around. I love that.
Yeah, that was Woo-Lick right there, that lick that he put on him. But
Woo-Licks. That's exactly what this game was about, was the Woo-Lick. We're back with the 49.
You hear some pass pop. And I was telling Eric, on the 4th down play right before the end of when they stopped the 4th down play, and Philly called timeout. It's a bad thing to do because the 49er defense knew where the ball was going. They showed a too high safety, and when you show a too high safety, the number one guy in that is the tight end, and that was the only guy that Jalen Hurts was trusting at that time because everybody else was dropping balls all over the place. And when he threw the ball,
AJ Brown.
it was 3 people right there on that ball. And luckily we didn't the 49ers didn't intercept it. It should have been intercepted, but hey, at least they tipped the ball away, and that was the end of the game. And it was kneel down time. The best play in football, they always say, is when the quarterback kneels.
Victory formation, man.
Victory formation.
See them get to do that in Philly. Oh man, not too many better feelings. And just an amazing win for the 49ers. Nobody gave them a shot. All 3 of us on this show did not pick the 49ers to win this game. Every national panelist, damn near every single national panelist, did not pick the 49ers. I think I saw Terry Bradshaw pick the 49ers to win.
Yeah, Terry Bradshaw was the only one. Yeah, he was the only one to pick the 49ers to win.
And you know what?
And he thought he was picking a game in another another year anyway. He's like 2023.
Terry thought Dwayne was still out there on the field.
He thought Joe Montana was still playing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to overwhelm the show with this. I know not everybody is, a deadhead like myself, but the particles, man. Bob Weir, legendary musician, legendary impact on just the city of San Francisco and San Francisco history. And a lot of notable players on this 49ers team love the Grateful Dead. George Kittle, Nick Bosa. Kittle literally had "Dead Forever" written on his left ankle tape, not the ankle that had the Achilles pop, the other one. And he literally had "Dead Forever" written on his ankle tape to honor the passing of Bob Weir. And for the 40, and Bob Weir, by the way, massive 49ers fan. We had him on KMBR a number of times. For them to win this game today, the day after Bob Weir passes away, so emotional. So just an overwhelming, like it's just particles, man. There's some things in the world that you just can't explain how it helps you in certain ways. But I genuinely think that there was some kind of forces in the universe out there by just like the sheer will of Bob Weir and all that goodwill that he has put out into the universe in his lifetime. It came back home today for the 49ers. And obviously the 49ers got the job done on the field and all that, but just shout out Bobby Weir, shout out the Grateful Dead, shout out all of the particles that were flying all over the place today, and the 49ers picking up a very, very emotional win in Philly, man. Just unreal stuff from the 49ers today. Let's take a quick break here. On the other side, we got to talk a little bit more about some of the specifics of this game. I want to get into how the 49ers were able to flip this game after halftime, because the first half didn't feel so great, and the second half sure as hell felt a lot better. Let's take a quick break here. We'll be right back here on the Locked On 49ers Squad Show. Today's show is brought to you by PrizePicks. Whether you're starting a new routine or jumping into player projections for the first time, trying something new can always feel like a challenge. But with PrizePicks, it always feels good to be right. With high-pressure football matchups every weekend and elite hoops action almost every night, the action never slows down, and PrizePicks lets you stay in control. PrizePicks is the daily fantasy app that makes watching sports even more exciting by letting you build lineups based on player projections, no drafts, no waiting, just pick more or less and play your way. Getting started on PrizePicks was quick and simple. The app, super easy to navigate and takes less than a minute to get your pick in. It has made watching games more engaging, especially when following individual player performances. And I absolutely love the flexibility with options like Flex Play, where you can still get paid even if one of your picks misses. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Welcome back to the Locked On 49ers Squad Show. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, joined by four-time Super Bowl champion Dwayne Board and one half of the Locked On 49ers podcast, Brian Peacock. And man, what a fun game for the 49ers. But it wasn't all fun, right? Like the first half had you kind of uncomfortable, or at least it had me very uncomfortable, especially the way that things ended with Shanahan kind of mismanaging that clock, guys not able to get lined up right throughout the entire first half. So the 49ers have no timeouts to use at the end in those situations. Things seemed disjointed. The run game wasn't really working. Brock looked shaky. The George Kittle injury, that could have been it for the 49ers. They could have let that first half bury them, but they didn't. They came back in the second half, and the Eagles, 95 rushing yards in the first half, 40 in the second half, 45 in the second half. They also had the Eagles had about 10 minutes more of possession time, almost double the 49ers time of possession in the first half. In the second half, damn near dead even. So Peacock, how were they able to flip the script in the second half?
You see that a lot. We saw it on Saturday night with the Bears too, and it was like this team's getting blown out, and suddenly they come back and there's always waves in a football game, and there's always momentum here and there. Maybe it's particles. I don't know. Maybe it's low frequency magnetic waves from
particles.
That's particles. How do those interact? Does it magnify the particles?
I think the Bob Weir particles like counteract all the negative forces of the electromagnetic field particles and results in good things for the 49ers. That's my take.
It becomes neutral, I think.
Yeah. Tabor Pepper, while we're on it, I saw Tabor Pepper tweeting about this today, the 49ers former long snapper, and he was talking about the power plant again, and he was saying, look at the trees on the side of the road next to the power plant and the side of the road across the street. And he's saying that the trees are evidence, because the trees on the power plant side apparently look, barren and just terrible. And the ones on the other side look nice and lush. But when I look out my window, the tree that's right out in front of my apartment building, real sad look, just real sad, mangled looking tree. It gets like 3 leaves on it a year. I look across the street, every tree on the other side of the street is flourishing. So there's no electrical substation on my side of the street. So I don't know, Tabor. Maybe there's some other environmental factors at play here. But
water your tree, Eric.
What was that?
Water your tree.
Yeah, dude. I mean, maybe the city should come water it because it's their tree that's planted in the sidewalk. But and maybe I could do some guerrilla gardening. You know what I mean? I would be the kind of guy. I'm sitting here in a Grateful Dead shirt. I would be the kind of guy to do some guerrilla gardening here in San Francisco. But for the 49ers today, I mean, man, I just don't understand really why the Eagles weren't able to continue to move the ball in the second half. I mean, other than Siegel, which we just talked about, and the kind of impact he had coming in for the injured Brown and this Jair Brown in the secondary. But I mean, one thing that I feel like I kept seeing was Jalen Hurts with a ton of time to throw, and Jalen Hurts running out of the pocket anyways. And Dwayne, I want you to kind of tell us how that can what impact does that have on the game when you have a guy who has a nice clean pocket and he just keeps scampering out anyways to just try and make a play. I think he was having probably a hard time seeing passing lanes back there, but weird stuff. And I feel like that kind of threw the Eagles out of rhythm.
Well, I think so too. The thing that when Jalen Hurts gets outside the pocket, guess what he's playing? He's playing street ball. So when he's playing street ball, he's looking for the big, deep pass. And the thing that the 49ers secondary did was they took care of the deep ball. They weren't going to let the ball get over their heads. And it was mentioned in the game by Tom Brady was saying that that's one thing that Robert Saleh preached was keeping the ball in front of you. So that means that they was getting deep. So Jalen Hurts couldn't sling it deep. And when he got in that situation, you got to go to your check down. He didn't look for his check down the whole day. They never checked the ball down once. If the play broke down, check down. But he didn't see it. And the Eagles, I think the offense was number 1 in the red zone. And the
coming into today it was.
Yeah, they shut them down in the red zone, which was great. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I talked about kind of in the open, joking, but to be honest with you, I don't think I'm joking. Sirianni's not going to get fired, but the Eagles are going to fire their offensive coordinator because they've been too weird for how much talent they have on offense. It's been really mediocre all year long, and you can't blame that on injuries. They've had a couple of offensive line injuries and Lane Johnson, but you got all pros out there. You got Pro Bowl caliber players, and last season, Saquon Barkley had 1,000 yards before contact, and he barely had 1,000 total yards this year. And so there's something going on there. And they were 32. They were the worst team in the NFL, not just in the playoffs, at 3-and-out percentage this year. And we saw that. They would just have these drives where it's like, oh, no, the 49ers turn the ball over. Brock Purdy throws an interception. No big deal. You're going to get the ball right back anyway, because that's just what the Eagles offense has been. And so they've got to go back to work there and just running into a sound scheme and a sound defense. And I think Robert Saleh flexed on Kevin Patullo, the offensive coordinator of the Eagles. And I think we're going to see someone get fired tomorrow. I really think that that's what's going to happen in Philly. They got to change something because they got too much talent to play that bad. And also just Hurts. We know who Hurts is, and he's got talent and he's a good player. But he's not the type to just drop back in the pocket and pick you apart that way.
And I feel like he was doing his offense a disservice by not staying in that pocket and letting his receivers continue to work downfield and get open, because he was throwing the ball before he needed to in a lot of these situations, which ended up hurting the Eagles. And, first of all, you said a few things there I want to touch on. First of all, Brian, did you just mention that Eagles fans will tell us that Lane Johnson being out impacted the final score of this game? Because a couple of years ago, Eagles fans told me and every other 49er fan that it doesn't matter who's healthy or not, you need to go win the game. So I mean, the 49ers didn't have, a couple quarterbacks and ended up losing. You just don't have a right tackle and you end up losing, and you want to come, bitching and moaning to me about injuries? Oh, I'm sorry, but get all the way out of here with that. I want to hear absolutely nothing from Philadelphia Eagles fans about not having Lane Johnson when the 49ers have one-legged Trent Williams, no George Kittle, no Nick Bosa, no Fred Warner, and you're still going out there and taking belt to you-know-what. And I mean, I don't want to hear any of that from the entire state of Pennsylvania. And I mean, just what a hilarious situation for the Eagles to find themselves in that regard. But also the third down thing that you just brought up. First half, the Eagles, they weren't super great on third down. There were 3 of 7 in the first half. But when you look at what they did on fourth down, 2 of 3 on fourth down, that basically means that they were 5 for 7 in these gotta have it downs or gotta have it situations. In the second, in where they finished the game, the Eagles only had they went 5 for 16 on third down and only 3 of 5 on fourth down. So they only converted 1 additional fourth down in the second half. I mean, they barely converted first downs in the second half. They were struggling in those third down situations. And, they were picking on Demo Lenore a lot in that first half. There was a lot of plays on gotta have it downs where the Eagles were going after Deommodore Lenore. One that stands out to me was the that dig route that Devontae Smith ran on, I think it was 3rd and 15 when the Eagles were backed up at like their own 20-yard line after a penalty, and right in front of Deommodore Lenore, who's playing like 10, 15 yards off of Devontae Smith. And I just don't know why that was happening in the first half, what Deommodore Lenore was thinking, just giving guys so much room to work, but seemed to kind of adjust that in the second half. He stepped up, I thought, in the second half, played a lot better. And I think that that's a reason why the 49ers defense looked a little bit better in the second half, combined with some of these other things we've been talking about, the linebacker play, Marquis Siegel. But man, just a monumental difference between half number 1 and half number 2.
Well, the thing that you mentioned that with the play calling in the second half by the Eagles wasn't the same. It was like, in the first half, they moved the ball with ease. And then the second half came around and they must have went in and had cheesesteaks for, Philly cheesesteaks and a smoke. A lot of people in Philly smoked. They went in and smoked, and they didn't make no adjustments at halftime. No. That's the problem. They came out, they was the same Eagles, and the 49ers made adjustments, and the adjustments paid off.
Yeah, and what in remarkable fashion for the 49ers, because this was, like I said, I know that there's still work to do. I know you got Seattle next week, and that's going to be just as emotional of a game as this one was. And it's going to be just as tough to win, if not tougher, going on the road to Seattle and trying to play this team for a third time. It's so hard to play the same team multiple times and beat them multiple times in the NFL. Dwayne, could you talk a little bit about how difficult that is?
Well, it seems like it's difficult, but when you're a road team, it's not difficult. And the 49ers showing that they're a road team. They seem to play better on the road than they do at home.
7-2 this year.
So you got to look at that as being an advantage to the 49ers going up to Seattle and playing them on the road. And the Seahawks was thinking too, what happened in the first game they played them up there. Okay, the 49ers came out winners, and that's a little bit on their mind. And by the game that they played down at Levi Stadium, it's a revenge game for the 49ers whole team, the defense, the offense, the special teams, the water boy, the boy that takes the bags off the bus, all of that. It's revenge, man. It's a revenge. And when you got revenge is hate. And so you gotta, nobody likes the Seahawks here in 49 land. And the 49 players don't like them neither. So they should go in the same way they went to Philadelphia. Before the game was started, man, you thought it was going to be Ray Boom Boom Mancini. I'm wearing my Boom Boom Mancini shirt today. And that was going to be a street fight. And that's what it's going to be when they go to Seattle. It's going to be a street fight for the Seahawks.
Nice little palate cleanser for the 49ers to go to Philadelphia and win that game. And by the way, the first loss for Sirianni and Jalen Hurts in their marriage as a home playoff team for the 49ers to go do that. And here's the other things: the 49ers in the Kyle Shanahan era either don't make the playoffs and actually end up being like picking top 15 in the NFL draft, top 12, or they go to the NFC Championship game. I think we're starting to see which kind of year it is for the 49ers. I don't know why it is that way. It's either all or nothing with this 49ers.
And one thing to keep in the back of your mind, Shanahan talked about it a little bit post-game, and he said, don't get your hopes up for this week. But Fred Warner's practice window, while it might not open next week, might open the week after if the 49ers are able to beat Seattle. And what a injection that would be into this defense. And just, wow. I mean, I think if you're the 49ers, you let yourself enjoy this one for tonight, right? Like, you let yourself enjoy this win, and then maybe tomorrow you can move on, turn the page to Seattle. But for right now, for tonight, I mean, celebrate, like, enjoy the hell out of this one. I actually saw a tweet from Diana Rossini where she said that a San Francisco 49ers employee just walked into the locker room carrying what appeared to be a bottle of tequila. Best guess, it's for George Kittle. And then she tweeted this like right after the game went final. Dwayne, I know you're a big tequila guy, so I know you can jump on board with this one. I know that you were also just down in Mexico, and I've seen some Eagles fans in the chat saying, like this guy saying, enjoy your last 7 to 14 days of the season. Rams going to the bowl. Well, guess what, buddy? I'm looking up some flights from Philly to Cancun right now. You can get a round trip for about $300. Dwayne was just down there. He can tell you how great it was, and you can also go enjoy some fantastic tequila. So while the 49ers are going on to play the Seattle Seahawks in the next round of the playoffs, you enjoy Cancun, buddy. You and all the Philadelphia Eagles fans, I hope you guys all have a great time down there, having a nice 49ers watch party down there at the pool, like all inclusive with the big TV, and drinking your nice tequila sodas or whatever the hell you're going to drink when you're down there. Hopefully it's not a tequila soda. God, that's a terrible drink. But point being, enjoy Cancun. The 49ers, they're going to enjoy a nice trip up to Seattle. We got to make a quick trade here, switching out Brian Peacock for Eric Crocker. So Brian, appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Any last thoughts on the 49ers win today?
I mean, I hope you guys get a draft pick along with this trade too, or else it's kind of lopsided. No, I mean, look, awesome win. You talked about the players going and enjoy it. Fans, go enjoy it yourselves. I might go sip on some tequila right now. That sounds pretty good right now. I didn't know Dwayne was a big tequila guy. That might have to turn into a different kind of excursion at some point. We're going to do broad shows here this season. I'm also a big tequila guy, and enjoy it. It's kind of found money being able to go win football games, which is banged up. Like, this is an improbable thing. So enjoy it. Don't go into these playoff games with expectations. Just like this one, enjoy it when you do go win. And the 49ers were underdogs for a reason. So that makes it all the more sweeter, especially at that house against the Philadelphia Eagles. It's awesome. Enjoy it. Don't get wrapped up in the rest, and don't go fight Seahawks fans and try to litigate the game before it happens. Let it play out next week and enjoy the season. It's some found money season right now for the 49ers.
I think we should all go get like dog masks and wear them and start woofing at people, just like Eagles fans did a couple years ago. We should just do a whole show where we're all wearing dog masks.
Let's not do anything like Eagle fans.
Yes, no, we're above things like throwing snowballs at Santa Claus. We're above throwing batteries at people on the field. Yeah. We try to be a little bit more classy here in San Francisco, regardless of what you might hear in the national media sometimes. But hey, Brian, appreciate you. It's been fun all season, man. And we got another show on Wednesday. So I'm not saying bye to you yet. We'll see you Wednesday, man.
All right, see you, folks.
And Dwayne, we will roll on with Eric Crocker, and we will be right back. Going to take a quick break here, and we got more to break down from this game. The Cry Eagles Cry show rolls on here on the Locked On 49ers Squad Show. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. The wildcard round is here, and FanDuel is officially in playoff mode. Every game day during the NFL playoffs, FanDuel is giving customers even more ways to get in on the action, because right now, every NFL playoff game day, FanDuel users get a profit boost pack waiting for them inside the app. Each game day, you'll see a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts you can apply to bets you like most. Open your profit boost pack first thing on game day and see what boost you want to play. The boost let you lean into your game day instincts, whether you're backing momentum, defense, quarterback play, or coaching. The boost gives you more juice on the bets you already like instead of forcing you to bet on something new. Every play feels bigger, and the boost make your bets feel that way too. You make your picks, then apply your boost profits to go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Welcome back to the Locked On 49ers Squad Show. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, joined by Dwayne Board, 4-time Super Bowl champion. And joining us now is Eric Crocker, the other half of the Locked On 49ers podcast. And Crocky, man, just real simple question for you right now. How you feeling, buddy?
Oh, feeling great, man. You watch the 49ers figure out a way to win like that, right? With all the obstacles in the way, all the adversity they had to fight through, losing one of the heart and soul players of their, not just offense, but their team in the midst of it. All the replacement players, the linebackers, and still figuring out a way to come out with a W. You can't ask for much more than that.
And just what a win, and what a situation to win in. And I cannot get over how great the 49ers defense was, specifically in the second half. I mean, they did such a good job of containing Jalen Hurts, not letting him, make too many plays with his legs, not letting him, push the ball downfield. I mean, the Eagles love those go balls, and we didn't see very many of them. I don't think a single, big play. I mean, they had that one deep pass to Jahan Dotson, which was a choice in the red zone down at the goal line. But why weren't the Eagles trying to attack the 49ers over the top in this one, Crocky?
I thought they would have tried to attack it more, and it felt like when they did take their shots, they had some guys there. Now, there was some solid coverage on some of them, some a little closer, a little grabby, but no penalty flags there. But, A.J. Brown dropping a couple passes, I don't think that really helped them. One thing about deep balls, right, fade balls in general, the go ball, the fade ball is the lowest percentage throw a quarterback can attempt. And the further you get away from the line of scrimmage, the lower the percentages of you just completing the pass. So because of that, when you have those opportunities, you have to take full advantage of it. And 2 times A.J. Brown did not. And I think that ultimately is one of the big things that came back to bite the Eagles in the rear end.
Yeah, that second drop in particular. The first one was a little tough. Like, he's going to the ground and he's trying to, snare that ball.
But he's kind of drifting upfield, trying to catch it a little bit, as opposed to flattening that off and really sticking his arms off. It was almost like he was kind of running away, trying to still run away from his safety. When you do throw the ball downfield, the receiver has a lot of time to be able to adjust to the ball in the air. So a legit, all-pro receiver like A.J. Brown, you would have expected him to be able to track that ball in from a distance and make a better play on the ball. Instead, he kept his angle too high, and he just missed it, just completely whiffed on the ball.
And that wasn't the only one that he whiffed on. Like you said, he dropped that second drop that he had, the one that was he kind of split the safeties down the field over the middle. Yeah. And, oh, man, hit him right in the hands. I know he had to jump,
No, there's that one, but there was the fade ball on the right sideline.
Yes.
Where he just flat out dropped that.
That one.
Not a great concentration game from A.J. Brown, and the 49ers are the beneficiaries of it.
Yeah, and Crocky, I mean, you can speak to this from a coaching perspective too, but after a play like that, I know you're probably not going to go and chew out a high school kid in almost any situation the way Nick Sirianni went after A.J. Brown after he had that first drop. But, I mean, did you see that? Like, right after A.J. Brown drops that pass, Nick Sirianni starts screaming at them to get off the field, and he, sprints down the sideline to go yell at A.J. Brown. And just what's that do to a player's psyche after a situation like that? I mean, do you think that played into kind of his shaky play later on in the game?
I think Dwayne may be able to speak more to that than me, because at the NFL level, the players, one, they know when they mess up, right? Like, yelling at him about a drop is not going to help. And these guys make so much money. It's like, bro, I make more money than, get out my face, So there's that at the NFL level. Like, we don't, at the high school level, at the collegiate level, well, shoot, now at the collegiate level, you kind of do. But at the high school level, you don't deal with that, right? A kid, drops a ball, you can get on him. You got the thing that I try to do anytime I do get on a player is, and I may rip them. I'm not like a big yeller like that, because I can't change the outcome of the play. If you have a drop, you have a drop. But I might get on them about catching the ball, so that there's a certain level of assertiveness by them. But then you also got to go level too, right? Put the armor on. Like, hey, man, Like I come to you like that because I know that you are capable of making that play. And I don't need the excuses. I just need you to do it. But you're in there because you're the guy that can. And that's how you follow it up at that level. At the NFL level, hey, man, you're making $30 million a game or a year. Catch the damn football, bro.
Do your job. We had a game like a situation like that one time. We was playing the Green Bay Packers at Candlestick Park, and it was a playoff game. And T.O., he must have dropped 7 balls. And in the end, I remember Mariucci lining up and ran all go special where everybody went deep. And T.O. caught the ball in the end zone and won the game.
When he got popped right over the middle. I know exactly which game you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The game Jerry Rice fumbled on that drive, and there was no instant replay back then.
Yeah. That same game. And before that, it was ugly on the sidelines. But T.O. saved it. He saved the game, and then he came out with some cliche of the catch two. Okay, it wasn't a catch two. It was just only one of those. It was just a damn catch you should have made. Okay, so,
he got popped though on the hit.
Yeah, he got popped. Yeah, he got jacked up by Leroy Butler. Okay, but hey, and that solved everything. You know, smooths everything over when you come back and make a catch like that. And A.J. Brown had a chance to do it too in the fourth quarter when he missed that big one in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And that was a confidence breaker with him and Jalen Hurts, because he wasn't about to go through on fourth down. He wasn't about to throw to him.
It's interesting you say that, because right after, I don't think it was the same drive, but later in the game when the Eagles were in the red zone and they ended up with one-on-one on the outside, they had A.J. Brown on the far side and they had Jahan Dotson on the near side. And you could see pre-snap that Tom Brady even said it on the broadcast. He goes, "Oh, look at A.J. Brown. He's one-on-one up top." And Jalen Hurts snaps the ball, doesn't even look to that side of the field, immediately looks at Jahan Dotson and just tosses it up, even though he wasn't open. And so I do think that those drops kind of played into like what you're just saying there, Dwayne. I think that Jalen Hurts lost confidence in A.J. Brown, and I don't think he was really looking his way at the end of this game. And you could kind of see that on that play. But for the 49ers offense, the reverse side of this coin, while the Eagles were dropping passes, you had Kyle Juszczyk out here. I mean, just catching everything that Brock threw his way. It doesn't matter if the ball's behind him, if the pass is low, if the pass is high, if he's going to get hit after. Did not matter. Kyle Juszczyk, I know he doesn't play the same position, but he filled in for George Kittle in a huge way today. He did a lot of similar things that you would normally want from George Kittle as far as what he did in the run game, how he was able to help seal things off on the edge and chip guys, and also catching balls out of the backfield, catching balls off the side of the, after being lined up in tight with the offensive line. And I really feel like that changed the game. Dwayne, what did you see from Juice today?
I saw that too. I was going to mention that too. But in the first half, he was like the forgotten man. Okay, came back out after George Kittle got hurt. He took over for him, and he was making plays and that and keeping drives alive. But the funny thing about it, I was listening to the pregame. One of the pregame channels, and they was talking about Big Fangio, and Big Fangio came out and made a comment about, hey, he's not worried about the 49ers because he's got this offense covered. But, hey, Vic, sorry about that, man. They had your number all the way.
I mean, I don't think that he had anything in the bag for that Juwan Jennings absolute rifle down into the end zone for his second career postseason passing touchdown, by the way. And also, like we said, the OW, the offensive weapon, Kyle Juszczyk just playing his behind off in this one. I mean, he was so good, especially on that last touchdown drive. The way that he caught that pass that was thrown behind him in the red zone. I mean, that is not a play that most fullbacks are making. I mean, the agility for him to be able, in the body control, for him to be able to stop and kind of redirect where his hands are. I mean, that was very, very impressive.
Not very. And, not to skip over the throw as well, right? You have that linebacker barreling down, coming into that area, and Brock Purdy did a terrific job of stopping his intended target and throwing behind him. So now you keep him from taking a huge shot, and it was a very catchable ball. So A terrific throw, and obviously a really good catch, a great catch by Kyle Juszczyk. Terrific ball skills.
And you go back. We got to talk about those 2 interceptions too that Purdy threw. It's the same thing that the 49ers, that the interior offensive line, they need to stouten up, because when he can't step into his throw, he has a problem. Okay, the ball floats on him, and the wind had a lot to do with it because of. Pocket.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, when he gets time and give him a pocket, he can put the ball on the spot. But when he don't have that pocket to step up in, all of his balls are anybody's game. You know,
wounded
you might be able to go out there and pick one. I might be able to pick one. Yeah, it's like that.
That second interception in particular, I totally agree with you, because that pressure was getting up in his face a little bit. The interior of that pocket collapsed and got pushed into his passing lane a little bit, and he couldn't step into the throw, but he still tried to make it work anyways, off the back foot, flat-footed, and tried to kind of get the ball 35 yards away from him. It's a lot of time for a defender to be able to step in front of the path of that ball, especially when there's as much wind as there was today. And I know Brock's trying to make something happen in that situation, but I need him to throw that ball away. I need him to not try and force it in there, or throw it in a place that only his guy can get it. Otherwise, it's going to be an incompletion. Don't throw that back towards the middle of the field where there's on the guy's inside shoulder, and allow that defender to kind of step in there and make that play. Throw that more towards the sideline. Throw that at your receiver's feet. Don't just throw that chest level high or higher and on his inside shoulder, where the backside help can come over and try to make a play, which is exactly what ended up happening on that one. So the picks were a problem. Yeah. But I don't know. Is this going to be something that you think continues for Brock? Because it's been so up and down, right? Like you see weeks where it's like his placement and precision is so just perfect. And then you see weeks like this week where it's a little less than perfect, and it results in some interceptions. So, Dwayne, which Brock Purdy do you think we're getting next week against the Seahawks?
Well, we hope we get a different one than from the first time. And we know what happened in that game, because he couldn't step into his throw in that game. And on the play that he threw the last interception on, it was a mismatch in coverage anyway, because it was a corner on the tight end. So
in a terrific corner at that, Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah. And on that play too, he got a face mask. I mean, it should have been a face mask called on that play, but the officials missed it. But he has to be more what can you say, more accurate than normal, but you gotta give it to Purdy though. He's not the kind of guy that he throws an interception, he gets down on himself. He doesn't go to the bench and throw his helmet or whatever, knock the Gatorade over, none of that stuff.
He's not getting in a fight with Nick Sirianni on the sidelines.
Yeah, he just comes back and play, and that's what's great about him. Nothing rattles him.
Yeah, and they're going to need that leadership in Seattle. It's going to be tough there. It's going to be loud. And we don't need to tell you guys how tough it is for the 49ers to win in Seattle. That is well documented. But there's one guy we haven't really talked about on the show, and it's a travesty that we have not mentioned him, and we're 53 minutes into this show. But we got to talk about him on the other side. Maybe the biggest X factor in today's game. That's what's coming up next here on the Locked On 49ers Squad Show. Today's show is sponsored by Robinhood. What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood Predictions Markets changes the game. It's people moving the action. So when the momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now I can actually take part live in a market powered by the people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play by play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood. Now available across the U.S. Download the Robinhood app to begin. Futures and cleared swaps trading involve significant risk, and it's not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm. Welcome back to the Locked On 49ers Squad Show. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, joined by Dwayne Board, 4-time Super Bowl champion, and Eric Crocker, one half of the Locked On 49ers podcast. And guys, it's a travesty that we have not mentioned Demarcus Robinson's name yet in this show. But this guy, I mean, his best game as a 49er, I mean, head and shoulders above the rest. Maybe the best game of this guy's career. I mean, he was awesome for the 49ers. In every week, it's 1 week it's Kendrick Bourne with 150 yards. The next week, it's Jake Tonjes with like 8 catches and a touchdown. And it's always someone different for this 49ers team. Juwan Jennings, could be the guy 1 week. This week, it was Demarcus Robinson, hauled in 6 catches, 111 yards, and of course, that big 61-yarder on that drive that set up the touchdown on the opening drive of this game. Crocky, tone setter, right? I mean, one of the keys for this game was the 49ers needed to start fast and be able to show that offense was going to move the ball, move the chains, keep possession. Demarcus Robinson, I mean, what did he do? What did that touchdown do for the 49ers?
I mean, just the big play in general, right? I mean, the run after catch, which we saw a few times in this game, not just from Demarcus Robinson on the big play, but Juwan Jennings had a terrific run after catch play. Kyle Juszczyk had a huge run after catch play. And that's something that's been desperately missing from the 49ers offense really throughout the entirety of the season. You haven't seen that. So to get 3 of those in this game, you really need that. But it started with Demarcus Robinson kind of setting the tone for that. And he wasn't just good on that play or on the touchdown play. There was a play later on where he went in motion to the outside and he ran a strong comeback. When I mean strong, just how strong he was at the top of the route, like going against that defensive back, creating a ton of separation for the Niners to complete a pass on third down to keep the drive going. Like those are things that you want to continue to see. And if he's doing that, it's like, all right, like this is a guy that deserves all the opportunities that he was getting. So terrific job by him. You love to see it. He had terrific hands throughout this game as well. Every target that he had that was catchable, he caught it. And you like to see the 49ers look to more of that. And you need that, right? Somebody has to step in. There's no Pearsall, there's no Kittle. Obviously, there's no Brandon Ayuk. Who's the guy that's going to step up? In this game, a few guys did, but definitely Robinson, he stepped up the most.
And I mean, it's gotten me to the point now, this 49ers offense does, where I don't really care who's out there at wide receiver. And maybe I'm like Peacock is with the running backs, but with the wide receivers for this 49ers offense. Like, yeah, an all-pro wide receiver would probably help this offense, but you know what? They don't need one in order to move the ball down the field. Like, an all-pro wide receiver is going to help any offense get better in the NFL. That goes without saying. But they're going to get their yards either way, it feels like, with the Shanahan scheme, with Brock Purdy able to kind of distribute the ball to just whoever's open. He doesn't seem to play favorites and lock into certain guys. And you see it every week. It's a different guy who leads the 49ers in receptions. Some weeks it's Christian McCaffrey. Some weeks it's Jake Tonjes. Some weeks it's George Kittles. Some weeks it's Juwan Jennings. Some weeks it's Demarcus Robinson, like this week. And I think it makes your offense almost a little bit harder to prepare for when you have guys like this that can just step up. So there's so many guys on this team that can step up and make things happen. And Dwayne, what's that kind of mentality like for when you're trying to prepare against a team that does have all these different weapons on offense and you don't really know which one it's going to be that they're going to lean on? Does it make it harder for a defense to prep for a team like that?
It certainly does, because the thing that you mentioned it with the quarterback don't care who's running the route. He's going to put the ball in the hands of the person who's open. And when you have a situation like that and the defensive coordinator, it's going to throw you off too, because you're going to have to figure out, okay, what's the game plan? How are they going to attack us? And if you don't have a feel for that in the beginning, And it's hard to make adjustments as the game goes on because you've been working on certain stuff all week, and then all of a sudden, well, where'd this guy come from?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's hard. And you don't want to be in that situation. You want to be able to be in the right, have the guys in the right spots all the time, but it don't work out like that. I feel like when the 49ers can attack people the best, it's when they're in base personnel. When they come out in 3 wide receivers, and they line up today with 4 wideouts one time in the Eagle, and it was on a 2-minute situation, and they really didn't get nothing done. And that because teams, they look at, well, who's lined up. It's easy to take care of guys when you don't have the right receivers. You don't have a Jerry Rice or a John Taylor. And when you just have some guys, and when you got some guys, you got to stay into the situation where they're comfortable with.
And Dwayne, I gotta acknowledge that you have been leading the charge for 21 personnel the entire season since our very first show we did way back in preseason. You've been beating the drum for come out in 21 personnel on every single play of the game, because that is your best offensive skill set. That's your best unit. That's your way to get all of your best players on the field at the same time. And 21 personnel was bread and butter for the 49ers today, especially with Kyle Juszczyk playing the way he did.
Well, this is the thing that going up into Seattle, the thing that they should be working on this week is 22 personnel and also 13 personnel. We got 3 wide receivers and 1 running back, because when the Seahawks played them at Levi a couple of weeks ago, they played them in dime. And when you line up in that formation, it's going to screw them up too, because, man, when you get into 13 personnel and you come out in dime, just hand the ball off and pound those little DBs, make them tackle.
That's exactly what I'm hoping we see next week in Seattle. That's a huge game, and we will preview that for you on Wednesday, as we usually do on our midweek squad show. And, of course, the Lockdown 49ers podcast with Eric Crocker and Brian Peacock will be dissecting that very heavily as well throughout the week. So make sure you're tuning into those shows. One last thing, Crocky, we talked about this a little bit before, but you being the former DB, I got to ask you, man, Marquise Siegel. I thought this guy had just an absolute hell of a game. We've given the 49ers secondary and their safeties a lot of flack lately, and I feel like Siegel came in and did the number one thing on this defense that you needed, which was tackle the ball carrier. And he, I thought, did a great job of that. What did you see from Siegel today? And also Upton Stout, young Upton Stout, looking like a really nice find for the 49ers at this point.
Yeah, both of these young rookies for the 49ers, I think heading into the season, you wanted to see them get reps and see how they progress throughout the year. And I think Upton Stout has done a terrific job. You expect some ups and downs from guys who are just getting their feet wet, especially in the secondary. A lot of different looks. The game happens fast. The timing at the NFL level is impeccable. And those are all things you need to get used to. And I think a guy like Siegel is. But you also, in the game like this, get a chance to see the physicality and when he triggers and when he sees it and what that looks like. He is a guy that, from a height, weight, speed, trait standpoint, he's terrific with all that. He checks all those boxes. Now it's just the mental side of the NFL. And Dwayne would tell you, the NFL is 90% mental, 10% physical. So once that mental part really starts to kick in for a guy like Siegel and he's playing confident, you see him make some of the plays that he did today. Now, everybody's going to be singing his praises right now. Terrific job. He tackled very well, all that. Now, you go out next week and give up a touchdown and some other stuff, people are going to be upset. But to me, that would all just be a part of his learning curve and what to expect from some of these young guys. So, hey, man, I'm all for this guy continuing to play and continuing to get those live reps, because I think he's going to be better next year for it.
And we'll see if he has to play another equally big role next weekend, as Jair Brown went out with an injury in this one, which is the reason why Siegel played so much. Finished as the 3rd leading tackler for your San Francisco 49ers. You're 1 and 2, Garrett Wallow and Eric Kendricks, the backup linebackers, number 5 and 6 on the depth chart, stepping in and getting it done. Next man up mentality all season long. And the 49ers had just enough in the tank to get this one done. 23-19. Eagles cry on the road to misery. I mean, I cannot, it makes me so happy, makes my heart so warm and fuzzy on the inside when I get to watch the Philadelphia Eagles all their fans just start booing their own team and just, throwing whatever the hell they're able to grab in the stands and throw it on the field. I mean, it couldn't happen to a nicer group of people, this level of disappointment. So shout out the 49ers for sending the Eagles home early in this postseason, beating the Eagles. First time they've lost in the postseason at home in the Nick Sirianni era. And man, does it feel good for the 49ers. Celebrate this one tonight. Get ready for Seattle starting tomorrow. And the 49ers have a monumental task in front of them. Does not stop here. Work is not done. Seahawks next for round 3 this season. This is going to be a big one. Make sure you're tuning in all week long to the Locked On 49ers podcast so you can get totally prepared for this game, know everything you need to know. And man, what a win for the 49ers in this one. That's about all the time that we got for you guys today here on the Locked On 49ers Squad Show. Big win despite not having George Kittle. We'll see if they can continue to weather the storm of injuries that they've had. And shout out Bob Weir and all the particles of Bobby Weir, and rest in peace to a San Francisco legend carrying the 49ers with the particles through today's game in Philly. That's all the time we got for you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. For myself, Eric Triple E Engel, Dwayne Board, and Eric Crocker, we'll see you next time. Peace.